times like that he only eats like at the end of the day, stuff like this.
That's
And
true.
then you mentioned earlier that he's literally working all day long.
Constant.
And then he's training as well.
I'd love to talk to that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then we mentioned as well that you said he has an iron mind.
Mm.
And I asked you, what is an iron mind? Why don't you go into that?
Okay, so the iron mind, as far as I perceive it, is just a singular, undying focus on conquest, and conquest in terms of Tate's life is obviously making money is one metric, having success in all worldly realms, learning, constantly exercising the brain, the body. Every day, Tate wakes up and he's almost angry at himself for having not conquered yet, not achieved, not learned, not evolved as a man. And so he literally will not eat, because that's when his mind's most clear and he can most, his output is highest, until he's made a certain amount of money or achieved a certain amount of learning, had his conquest for the day. Then he'll allow himself to eat 5 or 6 o'clock, and he doesn't eat much. He keeps himself hungry because that's when he's most optimal. His whole thing in life is, how can I be the most high output man I can be? So, and examples, for example, when we're on the yacht in Croatia, we flew in one of the world's best drone pilots, Yaxo, incredible work. We had a super yacht, hundreds of thousands of euros a week, jet skis. I had to say, hey, Tate, do you want to stop working and we'll get some footage on the jet skis? He shuts the laptop. He's like, oh, I guess we should. We, buzz around on a laptop for 20 minutes. He's back on the laptop. Like, that man lives to work. That's all he cares about. So, yes, he attained global fame because of controversial comments and, playing that he understands how to bring in attention, how to monetize attention. He's mastered that. But also, he works constantly, more than any man I've ever seen. He's so driven. So to tie into that, I'd say iron mind is that singular focus every day. He doesn't do weekends. In the hundreds of days I've spent around him, I've never seen him chill and watch a movie. He doesn't do holidays. It's on every day without exception. And he's training as well. He'll hit the same muscle group every day for 10 days in a row. It's just different. He's operating on a level of output and hence an energetic frequency that's higher above any man I've ever seen. And how is that possible? So one, he's naturally very intelligent, very driven, but he also surrounds himself with other men, so there's that masculine accountability. He and his brother, very competitive. I try and get in the mix a bit myself. I remember when I started first rolling with the Tates, I'd need like a week off to recover when I was around them, because training constantly, there was a lot of hard drinking, very little sleep, smashing cars around mountains, constant push, constant conquest, constant work. I'd be exhausted. But nowadays when I'm around the guys, I have the same energy, that same frequency, that same high output. I also fast all day and eat when the work is done. So it's like a muscle you can develop, being that super high energy, high output, high frequency man with other high output men around you. Your boy drops and does push-ups in between, typing away. You're not going to not do it. Your boy doesn't sleep for hours because he's working constantly. You're not going to say, I'm going to bed while he's working. That sense of masculine accountability, which Andrew and Tristan hold each other to account, that's also a very powerful part of living in that masculine frame, that conquest-focused frame. It's quite remarkable to see. As I said, at first it was exhausting, but now I'm there myself. I work every day, I train every day. It's why would I, especially now that I'm learning about Islam, why would I sit and watch TV? How does that improve my skills in life? I could be taking a chess lesson. Why would I sit and play video games when I could be learning about Islam and about texts that are hundreds of years old but are still powerful to this day? It's this undying energy and motivation for daily progress as a man, daily conquest. And that's part of the reason why Tate's so famous. It's not talking about women or saying, controversial things. The reason he has so many fans is he helps ignite that fire in other men and women too, to be the best version that they can be, to put in that endless work every day. His various products, as I understand them, are communities where, and I'm part of the War Room, I definitely understand that one, communities where every man in there is holding themselves to account. Did you really put in your best effort today? Did you fast so you could maintain that clear mind so you can go out and conquer? Or did you watch Netflix and eat ice cream, like a good sheep? And that's why he's so famous. It's that motivational message. He is able to take that high output energy and it can empower other people to lift up and have that same focus, that same drive, that same iron mind. That's the real reason why he's famous. You won't hear that in the newspapers.
You won't.
Yeah.
You hear slander like incel.
Yeah.
He was born rich. He had an easy life.
I love that.
Is that what someone would do? And you hear it with women too. You hear misogynist, someone that abuses women. But what was your experience with him interacting with women?
So, again, I can say hand on heart, I've never once seen him act in a way that matches these allegations. Never once have I seen him even be rude to a waiter. The real Tate that you interact with is a very polite individual. Yes, he's on his phone a lot because he's working and he's focused, but I've never once seen him be openly disrespectful or nasty towards anybody. That's not who he is. And you hear that from everyone who actually knows him. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. But the real Tate is very logical, very intelligent, very respectful, and very, very driven. Again, if a man is that focused on conquest, on becoming the best version of himself, why would he engage in this low-level stuff that he's accused of? What's more likely? A guy with a Bugatti trying to exploit someone for, I don't know, what is it, a couple $100 a day? Yeah. Or getting online, bringing in the attention of the world and monetizing that, which we know he can do effectively.
Yeah.
So and some other things about Tate. I think the best way to put it is that he's very firm and he's very principled, but he's also very empathetic. You know, a lot of people will try and say he's a narcissist or he's a this or a that. Spend time with the guy. He's very empathetic. He's very respectful. For his brothers, he'd do anything. Once you were in a circle with Tate, he is extremely caring as a man. So all this idea that he's somehow some nasty guy, and look, let's get specific. If two adults want to engage in sexual acts that are forceful, I mean, what is the most popular book of all time outside of, the holy books? I hate mentioning them in the same sentence. 50 Shades of Grey. Have you seen that? One of the most successful books of the last couple of decades. Yeah. It's because a lot of women are into that sort of thing. Now, if you're going to engage in that sort of stuff consensually, that's your business. Why is that all of a sudden being used as a pretense to say that this man is a monster? I mean, let's be really honest here. The majority of women in the world do have fantasies that involve BDSM or 50 Shades of Grey type activities. That's why the book is so popular. We're going to forget that and say, oh, wait a sec, Tate strangled a woman during intimacy. I know Tate. He's not going to force that on somebody. I also know women. Women enjoy that sort of thing. Right. All of that is just being forgotten in the media all of a sudden. He's just a bad guy. Yeah. I thought the left were meant to be accepting of people's sexual preferences. Why are we kink shaming? Tell me that's not kink shaming. It's the textbook kink shaming.
If every married man had his conversations with his wife leaked, I'm sure there would be things that they would deem as forceful or this.
Especially if you screenshotted just a part of that conversation, not the whole thing. Yeah. Again, I mean, if we're talking about the dark side of the left, Stalin's head of security was famous for saying, show me the man, I'll show you the crime. In other words, if we want to look into any citizen, we can find crimes to pin it on him. Yeah. And this is what we're seeing right here. Tate spoke against the agenda loudly. He became the primary point of reference for the fighting age males of the world. That's a serious amount of power. Yeah. So let's accuse him of something, even if the evidence is so weak that we have the two main complainants on record conspiring about how to lie and entrap this guy. Yeah. But he's still in jail. To me, it's mind-bending.